Hey guys, welcome back to PlayStation Live from E3. As promised, got another great roundtable for you. We wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like to take an iconic character that gamers know and love and reintroduce that character into a modern setting or style. So we've got some great folks here. We've got Corey Barlog from Santa Monica Studio, working on God of War. We're all dying to know more about that one.
So am I.
We've got Kurt and Sean here from Naughty Dog. You guys are working on Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. And Chloe, obviously a fan favorite character. You guys are kind of giving her the spotlight here on this new title, along with Nadine from Uncharted 4. So very excited to learn a little bit more about your approach to that.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then we've got Brian here as well from NSOM. You guys are working on Spider-Man. No surprises.
I don't know who Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man, yeah.
A little known property.
A little known property.
Yeah.
Very underground.
He's a real upstart.
So what it, slightly different interpretation from you guys. I mean, you guys are doing your own Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
This is an older, more experienced, more powerful Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything quite like that before, so we want to talk about that and find the connective threads between all of you guys from a creative side.
Cool. Well, I mean, I can start. I mean, he is a pretty iconic character, right? And we heard right away that no one wants to see him get bit by a spider again. You know, the origin story's been done. It's been done. I heard two things. No origin story, and make sure those webs attach to buildings. Those are my two number one things, and it was easy after that. But I think, something I've said is that he's such an iconic character, right? And the best thing about this game is that everybody knows Spider-Man. And one of the hardest things about it is that everybody knows Spider-Man. So even whether it's fans, whether it's internally, we have these big debates about, well, here's what I expect from Spider-Man. So we just kind of boiled down to respect the character, respect the DNA of the character, but also don't be afraid to mix things up. And Marvel's embraced it. And I mean, I think if you look at the suit, that kind of example of it's red and blue, it's got the classic mask, but that big white spider is something very different. And then we just wanted to tell a new tale for him and not just redo what everybody else has already done.
And I think that's a great strategy. And Corey, I find this fascinating with you too. I see an immediate parallel with Kratos in the new God of War. You obviously no stranger to the God of War series. You worked on the first one. You were creative director on the second one, or game director on the second one.
Yeah.
And Kratos, traditionally angry, like vengeance.
Right.
And that was very bold and fresh. It was very, very original at the time. And I'm kind of curious, your strategy for when you decided you wanted to do a new God of War game. What was the approach?
I think when I got back, I kind of took stock and looked around. The team had grown up a lot. I had grown up a lot. We're at different phases of our lives. The studio was at a different sort of crossroads, man. We had some stuff going on. And I think it's like looking back at your sort of high school years, your college years, and kind of going cool, I'm very different right now. And I look at things very differently. And I really want to take what I'm doing. The thing I told Shannon, I want to have something that I want to make something that means something, right? Something that has heart. I want to be able to look my kid in the eye and be proud of what I've done, right? And I'm not ashamed of any of the things I've done before. I wouldn't go back and change any of that stuff. But I see the world so differently right now. And I think for me, it gives an opportunity to actually have the first games be chapter 1 of a character's sort of backstory. So it's this amazing opportunity that most times when you're creating something, you sort of have to cram the backstory in. You kind of have to, this is what happened to them before. But to have, 10, 15 years of backstory being told, and then say, and here is where their struggle is now, right? And going forward and kind of, you're not changing the character. A lot of people think, oh, you're changing it. That's not my God of War. But really, it absolutely is. It's just, they're older, right? It's like saying in high school, you were very different, right? It's not like you're not you now. You're different. You've changed throughout your life. You see things differently. So I think what we do reflects who we are. And we put so much of ourselves in these things. We work on it for 5 years, man. Yeah. So it's just gotta mean something more.
Yeah, I mean, kind of coincidentally, I realized I've been talking about the game recently, and I say Peter's 23. He just graduated college. He's starting his career, trying to figure things out. That's when I graduated college, was 23. It's almost parallel of did I just coincidentally put him at 23? And I was thinking that was a big turn for me because I was a psychology major, and I was gonna become a psychologist. I'd gotten into grad school, and I actually took a year off to start writing about games. And then I was at this, what do I want to do? And they just juggling, is this going to be my career? And do I want to go do this other thing? And I think you, like Corey said, you kind of bring something of yourself to
Absolutely.
these games.
Yeah, I think that's part of the process. The creative process is getting deeper underneath the surface and bringing that out in your work. I don't think it's conscious necessarily. It's subconscious. It just comes out in the writing. It comes out in the choices we make, right? Especially for Chloe, it was revisiting an old character, but we really hadn't seen much of her either, or we only knew her on a very superficial level. And in the studio, there, just the process of creative process is it's such a struggle.
Did it start
as a
with her?
whole, right?
Did that idea begin with her? Were you guys like, look, I really want to get into Chloe and Nadine?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we went in all different directions. We had like
explored a bunch.
Sully and Sam and Cassie, or we looked at every single character that we had, and like the one we kept coming back to was Chloe, because she just puts a
was
smile on your face to think about, and she has that fun, Uncharted quirkiness about her, and like there's a reason she's a fan favorite, and we wanted to like team her up with someone that would like nicely contrast and conflict with her personality, and we had this great character Nadine from Uncharted 4, and they both have this self-serving self-preservation
That's really
in
what
common.
they were,
and
survivors.
And obviously the way they approach things is very different. Like Chloe is a very improvisational, think on her feet, and Nadine is more of she's a military leader, so she's got this very logical approach to things. So when we throw them into a situation when shit's blowing up and or they're approaching a combat scenario, and just the interplay between them coming out in gameplay.
Great dynamic.
Yeah.
What I've seen thus far is
struggle.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was the core of it. We wanted to make sure you had characters that would have a good dynamic, because that's such the heart of what Uncharted is.
Were the
characters
actors playing each of those?
This was Claudia Back and Laura Bailey.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
it was, even
Very
their
talented
energies-
people.
Yeah, and their energies were so, inspiring when you see them come in on the stage.
Well, that's the thing. I can't talk about who plays Spider-Man yet, because they don't let us talk about it yet.
Oh, let's just say it.
Yeah, no. but
I'm Spider-Man.
Let's just use this time to make
one of the things we looked for is like someone who is just interested in the character. Like our voice actor sat down with us and the writers and just wanted to know the whole story. Like even before, it wasn't like, oh, I'm coming in for the day and I'm just gonna worry about this one scene. He wanted, and then he's like, well, here are my notes. And I'm like, I'd never really had a voice actor give me notes on the story. And I was just like, well, you're playing them, so all right, let's do it. And that's when I actually really felt like we had cast him already, but then I felt really good about the casting. So I'm like, he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
He's gonna
bring his own life in that character.
But
I got notes from a 9-year-old kid. He was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Is that how you
I got notes from a 9-year-old kid who's seen the demo 3 times. He was sitting in the crowd, right? But you guys ever? For me, sometimes when we're writing lines and stuff like that, do you ever? Sometimes you hear the character say something that you would say like. There's a line when we were working on the demo where Spider-Man's the helicopter's going down and he says, "Please don't screw this up." And I was like, "Oh, that's how I feel every day. Every day working on this game. Like sometimes you bring
it's therapy,
your own voice.
Right? It's therapy.
Oh my God,
You're literally writing yourself, your thoughts in this thing, and then it's like, wait a minute, is that me?
I can tell.
Would Peter really say this? I hope so.
Yeah. Between Sean and Josh co-writing, I can tell. Just from their own personalities infused in the writing when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, that's a Josh line. That's a Josh line.
Yeah.
I'm shameless, man. I just put everything from my own